A famous man once said, "You can't have a good conspiracy video without a picture of an eye." So, there you go, we thought we'll get it out of the way. One of the famous fathers of conspiracy, Dan Brown, once famously said, "Everyone loves a conspiracy." The most polarizing of all conspiracy theories has to be that of the flat earth. We're initially going to bring you a video about how this movement have a football team complete with their own crest as well as football shirt, led by centre back and chairman Javi Pérez. But whilst editing that video, a light bulb went off and it got us thinking here at Football Friend it would be way better content to walk a tightrope whilst trying not to get sued. Decided to bring you the most controversial, taboo and scandalous conspiracies in football. This all depends how far you want to go down the rabbit hole. We bring you conspiracy theories that make you rethink what you believe to be true in football. Some of these are so controversial that we're going to drop one of those disclaimers. And whilst you're looking at those disclaimers, please do subscribe, as it really does help us bring you more original content. Right, well, let's get into it. Champions League, the pinnacle of club football, and also the place where we tune in weekly over the last few years to watch Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi break each other's records. It also happens to be the place where clubs backed by enormous wealth continue to fly close to financial fair play. They battle it out for the European Cup, a trophy affectionately referred to as Big Ears. Surely, in a competition where the stakes are so high, there's no way nefarious activities could be going on. The theory is pretty simple. UEFA rigs Champions League draws to favour bigger teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. You get the picture.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Of course,
who's your source on that?
No, it's the streets.
So, I know you're probably thinking these were ex-footballers who were a little bit lazy and it was purely coincidental. Well, it's at this point I tell you to wear your seatbelt and buckle up, because we're going to have a look at the maps and show you two pieces of irrefutable evidence that will probably make you consider what you think. So, this might be news to some. UEFA holds Champions League rehearsals the day before. Now, what do you think the odds would be for the rehearsal actually going according to plan and being exactly the same as the official draw? Well, let's have a look at the odds. Just in case you think it's a one-off and some sort of mathematical anomaly, well, have a look at the evidence and make up your own mind.
One of the technical rehearsals was going on to practice that all the graphics were okay, and what a prospect it threw up. How about this? These were some of the ties that came out. Real Madrid against Manchester United. I mean, what a mouth-watering game that would be. Arsenal against Bayern Munich, of course. I mean, that doesn't look too bad either, does it? And Celtic would end up playing the Italian champion Juventus over two legs. I mean, if any of those come out, there'll be real talking points when it actually takes place tomorrow morning.
Manchester United.
Real Madrid versus Manchester United. Manchester United 3 times winner, last time in 2008.
FC Bayern München.
FC Bayern München. Bayern München 4 times winner, last time in 2001, and runner-up. Unlucky runner-up at last season's final. They will play Arsenal. Celtic and Steve.
They shall play Juventus.
Juventus, 2 times winner. Juventus winner in 1985 and in 1996. In 96 it was in.
So, still not questioning your reality? Well, what if I was to tell you that this happened again? This time in 2017, with the Roma and Liverpool match actually being advertised on Roma's website 24 hours before, and if that wasn't bad enough, there was also the incident of the exact same draw appearing just before Uefa's live stream of the live draw to be streamed. It might be purely a coincidence, but it is one hell of a coincidence. So, Sepp Blatter's testimony, former Turkish referee, we've had situations in live draws, we've had draws being predicted the day before, and a certain degree of confidence in which tickets have gone up for sale and been posted on clubs' websites, which also includes official confirmation of actual draws, which are absolutely taken from UEFA's official website. Might seem a hell of a coincidence, or maybe we're simply just not ready for the mathematics to add up. It is sometimes said that there's a conspiracy theory for everything, but in this case, I'm simply going to present the evidence and leave it up to your good selves to decide what you want to make from it. This next one is so shocking that I wasn't even sure it was gonna make the video. But in the interest of just reporting conspiracy theories as opposed to making them up, I decided to leave this one in. Now, this might totally shock some people, but for some other people, they might not be so shocked. Zidane winning every single Champions League he has contested, the team which had superstars, when you go back and watch all their moments, outplayed in quite a few games, but whenever they seem under their cosh, they seem to just receive that lucky bit of luck to get them over the line. This theory is actually becoming a little bit more mainstream, with a lot of big journalists actually referring to Zinedine Zidane as simply Lucky Zidane. Conspiracy theory that Zinedine Zidane has mystical powers does stem from early 2006. Now, ask anybody about the 2006 World Cup and one name is going to ring higher than everybody else: Zinedine Zidane. Scenes from that 2006 World Cup absolutely transcend sport and also make a lot of the front pages as well as the headline news and not just the back sporting pages. Trash talking from Marco Materazzi, Zidane did that and saw red before he saw red, and the scenes are one that will live with football fans forever. The last ever time Zinedine Zidane would play before his retirement, and he would get sent off, and the mighty Azzurri, Italy and Materazzi to win that penalty shootout. But here's what you might not have actually known about that 2006 World Cup. Zidane had to come out of retirement to play and was so close to not being at that World Cup. The lackluster performances in the 2002 World Cup in Korea, where they failed to get outside the group stages, as well as that lackluster performance that made them iconically lose 1-0 to Greece, Zidane retired after Euro 2004 in Portugal. Returned back to football in that 2006 World Cup would actually be the origins of the conspiracy theory, and the strange ongoing things that happened ever since then will go further to back up the conspiracy theory. Most used adjective to describe Zinedine Zidane, the manager, is lucky. But the question is, does he make his own luck, or is he just born lucky? First piece of evidence to consider is that strange interview by Zinedine Zidane in which he says he had a supernatural experience, which he does refer to as being quite mystical. He referred to it happening at 3 a.m. in the morning, and also how he was dumbfounded by the power of the voice that he had no option but to obey. So far we have a 33-year-old Zinedine Zidane returning out of international retirement based on the advice of a supernatural voice that actually came upon him. In his words, he was totally powerless and had to obey. It's also important to understand that since France '98, Zinedine Zidane hadn't been so glorious in a France shirt, and France had been lackluster and showed leading up to the 2006 World Cup they were actually not very well favoured. So at the time of Zidane's interview, it did raise a few eyebrows, but everybody, old footballer, feeling the pressure and just simply rambling whilst looking for an excuse to come back out of international retirement for one last failed hurrah. With every single inspirational win along the way, inspired by Zidane in that World Cup, people started to realise that might not be the case. In fairness to people who actually propagate this conspiracy theory, there are quite a few strange anomalies around Zinedine Zidane. You know what? Don't just take my word for it. Have a look at this. With Lucky Zidane or Mystical Zidane, I literally had about 5 more minutes of evidence, whether it's situations like that second goal in the Champions League final by Gareth Bale, or Zidane's Real Madrid breaking the Champions League record by being the first ever team to win the Champions League and not actually play a single past winner. The plethora of fortunate refereeing decisions that they actually got along the way. Or I could also, when Zidane quit his job and actually accurately predicted that the following season Real Madrid wouldn't do so well in the Champions League, but you get the point. I could go on and on. Where you stand on this situation, whether Zidane is mystical or not, what is absolutely no denying is that he was a great player, and boy oh boy is he one incredibly lucky manager. It's your boy MJ, and until next time,